Hello, everyone. This is Mr. Donati. Today, we're going to look at alcohol. So, as usual, we need to define what is alcohol. What is the main thing about? Why are we throwing this into the drug unit? Um, why is it important to talk about, especially with teens? So, first of all, alcohol is a drug that is produced by a chemical reaction in fruits, vegetables, and grains. There are several kinds of alcohol. Some are used to kill germs, others can be found in medicines, cleaners, and fuels. The kind of alcohol we're talking about in this chapter is a beverage. It is called ethanol alcohol. Ethanol alcohol is produced by a chemical reaction called fermentation. Alcohol is a depressant. Depressants are drugs that slow down the body's function, in particular the central nervous system. Alcohol has been around for a long, long time. This is the most abused drug in the world. Alcohol is produced by fermentation. As I said earlier, fermentation is a process in which sugars are transformed into a new product through a chemical reaction carried out by microorganisms. During fermentation, microorganisms called yeast feed on the sugars in foods such as malted grains, grapes, or berries. In the process, carbon dioxide and alcohol are produced. During fermentation, the alcoholic beverage will have to age in order for the alcohol to develop. Alcohol fermentation, also referred to as ethanol fermentation, is a biological process by which sugar is converted into alcohol and carbon dioxide. So, just a little side note, alcohol, in terms of a nutrition value, there are empty calories and extremely high in sugar. This leads us to alcohol use in teens. A teen's body and mind are still growing and developing. Research has shown that alcohol can interfere with long and short term growth. Alcohol can harm the brain's ability to learn and its ability to remember. Teens who drink are more likely to fall behind in school. Alcohol also increases the risk of social problems, depression, suicidal thoughts, and violence. In short, alcohol use by teens can cause major problems. Alcohol affects the brain, and since the brain is developing in teens, decision making will be greatly affected. This means that teens can become addicted to alcohol easier than adults. For teens and others under the age of 21, using alcohol is illegal. In addition, many schools have adopted a zero tolerance policy. Under such a policy, students face stiff consequences, including suspension if they're on like a sports team or academic team, um, starting with the first time they are caught with alcohol or other drugs. It's not worth it to use alcohol. What are the influences on teens in regards to alcohol? First of all, peers. Some teens say they drink to fit in or just do what their classmates seem to be doing. Teens often mistakenly believe that everyone is drinking. In fact, millions of teens never use alcohol. Teens who choose friends who avoid alcohol will have an easier time refusing it themselves. Family. Teens report that parents and family members are important influences on their decisions about alcohol. A majority of teens want their parents' guidance in making decisions about alcohol use. Although your parents may seem tough on you, their rules and advice can help you steer clear of alcohol and other drugs. This at times can be tricky in terms of how alcohol is used by the family, in particular at family events, religious ceremonies, and other activities. The last part that plays a major influence on teens is media. Alcohol's wide availability makes it relatively easy to obtain. Alcohol use is also seen as generally acceptable in people who are over 21, even though it can be dangerous at any age. Companies that sell alcohol bombard the public with advertisements for beer, wine, liquor, and other beverages. Television commercials and magazine ads often show drinkers in beautiful outdoor settings, at fun filled parties, or enjoying sports. Although the ads never show uh, underage drinking, the scenarios tend to appeal to teens as much as adults. Usually, the message accompanying an alcohol ad says nothing about the product. Unlike ads for some drugs, alcohol ads are not required to list negative side effects. It's always assumed people know what would happen. Alcohol content is based on the alcohol in each drink. A serving of beer is 12 ounces, a serving of wine is 5 ounces, and a serving of liquor, also referred to as spirits, is 1.5 ounces. Each serving has the same amount of alcohol. Because of alcohol, it becomes dangerous when alcohol is mixed with other drugs. It will enhance the effects of both the alcohol and the other drugs. For example, if alcohol is used with an illegal stimulant like cocaine, this can become life threatening. Being a depressant, alcohol shows the body or slows the body. This means the reaction time is greatly affected. Reaction time is the ability of the body to respond quickly and appropriately to situations. This is what makes drinking and driving so deadly. People with slowed reaction time cannot respond quickly enough to dangers on the road. This is why there are very stringent laws in place regarding alcohol. Um, just think about if there's a ball that rolls out in the road, a child might follow that ball into the road. The reaction time is basically when a person sees something, they take the pressure off the accelerator, put the foot on the brake, and start bringing the car to a stop. Well, if a person is slow at reacting or seeing that ball, they're going to travel so many more feet before the car actually comes to a stop. And you can see that this obviously can lead to some major problems in terms of maybe doing some damage to the vehicle, putting the person at risk, or even killing another person. The other things to remember is that alcohol can only be metabolized at a certain rate. Over a period of time, too much alcohol can lead to alcohol poisoning. Usually a BAC of 0.30% to 0.40%. This is potentially a fatal blood alcohol level. Driving while intoxicated, laws across our country have a 0.08% BAC, except in Utah where it is 0.05%. BAC stands for blood alcohol content. Um, Basically, the percentage of alcohol in a person's bloodstream. DUI is basically driving under the influence, could be drugs or anything that would impair your driving. DWI is driving while intoxicated, a BAC of 0.08% or above the legal limit. A driver in Indiana will have their driver license suspended for 180 days upon their first offense. Indiana operates under a zero tolerance policy, which means drivers under the age 21 years old have a different legal BAC limit than the standard 0.08%. Minors can face charges of having a BAC of just 0.02%. That means if you have a trace of alcohol on your breath, you could be arrested for a DUI. On a final thought, the risk of alcohol can create very dangerous situations. It is better to avoid alcohol and be safe. Make sure you are always careful where you go and what you do. Your future is bright, and you don't want to ruin it by making a bad choice. With that being said, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed the show.